Okay, I am coming to you as promised live, both on Facebook and Instagram, because I wanted to tell you about an incredible experience that I had last night. And it was an experience that I am still kind of processing and still trying to understand and make sense of what the fuck actually happened. And it's just something that really shows me how far I've come in my growth process and what I have done for myself and the work that I do for other women. So last night, I was just having a look through you dive down the rabbit hole of YouTube and you come across all kinds of different things, and there's a whole weird world out there of all sorts of stuff. And it led me to a site for pornography, different types of pornography. It's kind of like an alternative site with different kinds of things, and again, like YouTube, you just go down this rabbit hole and there's all this whole world of other things out there. And I ended up finding this guided process, this guided meditation for pleasure, and it had this man's voice, and I started listening to it and I thought, oh, that sounds really incredible. Like, his voice is just so deep and so juicy, and so it really, I could feel it pulling me in to do the process. And I was like, okay, let's do this properly. So I laid down, I got comfortable, I put my earphones in, and I listened. And it was this incredible fucking luscious man's voice who guided you through this process of experiencing pleasure. And I can't even really explain what happened, but he takes you through this process of slowly building up the energy in your body and feeling that turn on. And he uses his voice as the tool, and this incredibly powerful tool. It's the most deepest, huskiest voice that a man could have, and the way that it was edited and created, it was like he was in the room with you, and he sort of went from one ear to the other ear, and then he was walking around you, and it created this incredible deep meditative state that is similar to what I use for my clients and what I go into when I create what we call an altered state of consciousness, when we're accessing subtle anatomy and doing intuitive guide processes. So this man's voice took me into this very familiar state that I know well and I'm very comfortable in, and it felt extremely relaxing. And then he just began to build that level of pleasure, and I could feel it building in my body, and I could feel the turn on happening, and I could feel my yoni responding, my womb space responding, and she started to kind of pulsate, and you could feel this pull for all of the energy to go to this space. And then he sort of explained he was going to take you on this erotic journey, and he was going to make you come. And I was very aware, I was very alert the whole time, and I could feel my brain going, is this really going to work? What's happening here? But at the same time, my body was going on this process, with or without me. It was happening. And I could feel the energy start to flow through me. And for those of you who have ever experienced any tantra work or body work or sexual body work, or kundalini rising, any of that kind of stuff, was as you feel the energy move through your body, it's almost like this vibration, and it becomes this sort of undulating energy or process that moves through your body. And I could start to feel that, and my body was moving involuntarily, and I was very aware of it, but I couldn't stop it. It was just moving, it was happening. And it got stronger and stronger, was building more and more and more. And I've found, particularly over the last 6 months, as I have really explored my own sexually deeper, on a much deeper energetic level, as opposed to the physical process level, with the work that I've been doing with the yoni massages that I have received personally, as well as been given, I've noticed that my body is responding stronger in a physical way when the sexual energy is produced. And I've noticed lately, when I do get to that peak and have the orgasm, there's a lot more physical responses, a lot more shaking and that sort of thing going on. And this is what was happening in this meditation last night. And it was getting stronger and stronger. And he guides you through this process where he's kind of like, he's using voice activation and different words. So when he says the word pleasure, and he says it in this way that is just like fucking chocolate melting in your mouth, that it kind of triggers you to the next level. And he builds you, and he builds you, and he builds you. And then he says, I'm going to start to count from 10 to 1. And when I get to 1, you will come. And my brain, I could feel my logic brain going, this is not going to happen. This is insane. But the energy in my body was fucking incredible, and it was hard to resist. And as he was counting down, and he was doing it slowly and torturously, and he would get to 5 and talk about the intense feelings in your body, and in my mind I'd go 4, 3, 2, 1 and he would do it really slowly, and eventually when he got to 1, and he said, and his voice again using it felt like he was in the room, and he was using the incredibly sacred words, and he's, encouraging you to open to the masculine and inviting his masculine presence in. And it wasn't so much about being with this fantasy man as opposed to just opening yourself and allowing in this incredibly deep, fucking penetrative masculine energy and presence, which is something, funnily enough, I've actually been really working on lately, because it's something that I've found myself resisting. And when he got to 1, holy shit, my body went into complete orgasm state. It was fucking rolling through me. I could hear myself with the noises, the sounds that I was making as I was expressing. My body was just undulating endlessly with this orgasm that was rolling through me. And at the same time I was going, oh my God, this is actually happening. I'm not touching myself at all. In fact, my hands were like gripping the pillows as this energy was rolling through me. And he would talk you down, and he would say, okay, now stop. And it was like the energy just kind of started to settle and ease, and then he would take you back through the process, and he'd use the words again, and then he would build you up again. And it happened 3 times. And I have to say that the second 2 times I didn't orgasm as strongly, because I think my body and my mind were in a bit of a state of, what on earth just happened? Is that real? Did that just happen? And it was, I have to say, it was really fucking intense. It was a really powerful, strong orgasm. And physically, I could feel my body, like my muscles were contracting, my stomach muscles were contracting, my thigh muscles were contracting. And it was a very, very strong reaction and strong process. And then he continued to talk you through the process, and he built it up another 2 times, and I could just feel it rolling through my body much more gently the second 2 times. And he says, as you do this process, it intensifies, and it becomes a cellular memory in your body, this energetic state that is easier and easier and easier to conjure the more you do it. And when I finished, and he brings you out of it, and he gets you to open your eyes and just touch your body and make that physical contact, and it's like, I'm here, I'm back in this place, I'm back in my physical body. And I could just feel kind of the remnants of this energy just pulsing through my body. And it was an incredibly powerful experience. And at the end, he says, if you want to go on this journey further with me, I can take you on an erotic journey. And he leads you to a website, and you can sign up, and he sends you emails, and they have a meditation, a process in that, and he takes you on that, and then he takes you deeper and then deeper. And it's this incredible erotic journey. And I love with his advertising, his website, he never identifies himself. You don't actually see him, which of course is a part of the erotic fantasy. And I started to listen to one of the other recordings just because I was curious. I haven't actually done it in full, but he allows you to play out your fantasy. You create him and his voice in the image of what you need it to be. And I really quite like that because it's not attached to any one particular being or one particular man. And it felt, for me, it felt very sacred then, because I could allow it to be my masculine that I was having this process with, as opposed to a lover, a partner, somebody else. It was all within me. And today I've kind of just really been sitting with it and observing the process and understanding the process. And I've just been absolutely fucking blown away that I had something that I've heard people talk about a lot, especially in the Tantra world. I had an energetic orgasm. I had a fucking hands-free orgasm. My body did it itself. And I feel so grateful for me and for the work that I have done on myself. And it just shows me what we are fucking capable of as women, as beings. This potential that we have to experience pleasure in this life, to experience just fucking euphoria, to experience energy in other ways that we're just not used to in everyday life in the normal world. And I have only gotten to this place with the work that I have been doing, with the sexual practices that I have been doing, with the practitioner work that I've been doing, actually doing this body work for other women and inviting them into this space, because each time I do that, it expands me that little bit further. And, you know, I've been a yoni massage practitioner for 2 years now, just over 2 years. And I know that 2 years ago, there is no way that would have happened for me. And I'm still really processing that, because I have been on a journey with my orgasm, as everyone is. Everyone's got a story around their ability to feel, experience, and receive pleasure. And, you know, as women, and I talk about this a lot, as women, we are full sensory beings, and there's a lot that goes into us being able to orgasm. It's not just the right stroke in the right place at the right time. There's a lot more to it. It's completely energetic. It's space, it's comfort, it's safety, it's connection. It's all of those things that allow us to drop in and actually be able to go there, and go there being that orgasmic state, place. And at times, of course, like everyone, I have found that really difficult. And I have been, particularly in relationships or partners, where orgasm has just been really fucking arduous and hard, and just get it over with so I can just not do this anymore. And to then experience last night this completely fucking hands-free orgasm, this energetic orgasm of this power that was within me that could be conjured up on demand like that, just fucking blows me away. And I am just so grateful for myself and almost fucking proud of myself that I was able to experience that, and I was able to give myself permission to safely go there, to feel safe to go there within myself. So I just really wanted to share that with you, because I think it beautifully demonstrates what we are capable of as women, but as beings, as men. You know, this process is possible for anyone and everyone, and it's definitely something I'm going to continue exploring further because it was a fucking incredible experience. And one of the things I talk about with this work, and one of the biggest reasons I do it, is because there is no separation between spirituality and sexuality. And what I experienced last night was those two in absolute union. The energetic layer of orgasm, and that is the layer that thins the veil. That is the layer that opens us up to our complete infinite beings, that bigger aspect of ourselves, whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever you call it, what is comfortable for you, whether you call it God, the universe, the infinite, the angels, all of that stuff. That is what pleasure opens us up to, because it puts us in such a high bliss state that it's in that state we can access that aspect of ourselves, that reality. And that's what I experienced last night, was that absolute union of those two, the peak of what I have been fucking talking about for 2 years. And I felt it. absolute in its power, complete, palpable. I felt it. And I'm still trying to make sense of it, and I'm still trying to understand what happened, and I don't think I ever will. And part of me feels like, well, yeah, of course. No big deal. And then there's this other part of me that's going, holy fuck, you realize what just happened? So I really wanted to share that with you, because I know that a lot of women who follow me and a lot of women who are called to this work feel that this sort of thing is out of reach, is so far beyond the normal, beyond what they can obtain, experience, feel, even know and understand about. And I just wanted to bring it to you and show you that actually, yeah, it's completely possible. So thank you for joining me, all of you beautiful people on Facebook and Instagram. I'm multitasking and having you on both. So thank you for joining me, and I really encourage you to keep going with your self-exploration, with understanding who you are as a woman. And I have found for me, particularly in this area of sexuality and spirituality, the biggest leaps have happened, the biggest growth has happened when I have stopped trying, when I have stopped pushing, when I have stopped trying to strive to make something happen, to create a shift. When I stop that seems to when it just happens completely spontaneously, involuntarily. And that's exactly what happened for me last night. So thank you for giving me the space to be able to voice the process that I have experienced. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments, contact me, anything at all. I'm not going to share the link for this particular meditation yet. I feel like I want to go a little bit further with it and understand the process a little bit more before I can pass it on and recommend it to others. Because any work that I do, any practices, any resources that I give are ones that I am very familiar with myself and have had a journey with myself. So once I go a little bit further with this, I will definitely be sharing it with the world. So for now, I'm just going to explore it some more. And thank you so much for listening and being here with me. And I hope you have a wonderful